Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to IFX Expo International 2024. My name is Elisa, and I'm honored to be your host here at the Speaker Hall. To kickstart the day, I'm honored to introduce the opening keynote that has become a tradition here at IFX Expo International. Please help me welcome Dr. George Theocharides, the Chairman of Cyprus Securities and Exchange Commission. Dr. Theocharides, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, good morning to everyone. On behalf of the Cyprus Securities and Exchange Commission, I would like to welcome you all to the IFX Expo International and to Limassol. So today I would like to share a few thoughts on evolving financial technology, including some of the challenges that have emerged and the importance of responsible innovation. So let me start by the vision and mission of CySEC. So in my role as chairman of CySEC, I view technology and innovation through the lens of our main duties and responsibilities as a regulator: to supervise and regulate the operations of the investment firms, promote consumer protection, to request and collect information, and to ensure their compliance with the relevant legislation. We are all aware the benefits of financial innovation and the digitalization of the sector. These are clear to all of us. But so too are the risks relating to the protection of the investors, a lack of security and the misuse of data, to cases of money laundering and terrorist financing, and to risks around cybersecurity. So against this backdrop, there is also evidence that the adoption of smartphones has increased risk-taking by investors through the purchase of riskier assets and chasing past returns. Another trend that we're seeing is a rise in social media-driven investments, including those using false or misleading information, which puts investors, particularly those with limited knowledge and resources, at risks of losing their money. So the advancing digitalization of financial services is also fostering the emergence of new players that are bridging the gap between IT and finance and developing new types of financial infrastructures. These are fintech companies new to the investment industry that are challenging traditional business models, transforming financial services and products, but also making them potentially harder to regulate. And the harder firms are to regulate, of course, the less likely investors have access to rights and protections when things go wrong. So the ripple effect of technology-based risks are huge to the security of the individual investors, as well as to organizations and sometimes whole economies and nations. And these present a myriad of challenges for us, the regulators. Our priority remains to make the Cyprus securities markets a safe and secure place to do business through maintaining high standards of investor protection, investor confidence, and supporting the healthy development of the market with new products and services. So in this context, finding the right balance between mitigating potential risks while encouraging innovation is an inherently difficult task for all of us, the regulators. So let me discuss a little bit about the new landscape. Digitalization, which obviously it's together with sustainability, are the two main topics that are affecting the financial industry and the financial services industry. So digitalization has reshaped the landscape, the regulatory landscape in the financial industry. As organizations have adapted to changing customer preferences and expectations, the trends that we have seen in the last decade or so in financial services are more digitalization, more online, more mobile trading platforms. We have also seen more sophisticated technologies, such as artificial intelligence, obviously, machine learning, which have been crucial for gaining valuable insights and delivering personalized financial products, as well as algorithmic trading, blockchain and DLT, distributed ledger technologies, data analytics and big data, robo-advisor, social trading. All of these are the new trends that we have seen in financial services. And a key focal point to all of these is the applicability of AI, artificial intelligence, and generative AI across the fintech sector. Numerous companies are looking for ways to embed AI into products and services, particularly those related to cybersecurity, although, as ESMA has observed, dedicated AI investment instruments remain in Europe, they remain limited. So the work of the professionals in this room is to encourage responsible innovation. And last year was a difficult year for the fintech market globally. According to KPMG's Pulse or Fintech report, investment in fintech last year fell to a 5-year low, driven by a combination of challenges, including high interest rates across the globe, persistent inflation, as well as the geopolitical tensions and the war in Ukraine, the war in the Middle East, coupled with declining valuations and a subdued exit landscape. There are other risks on the horizon for the investor that regulators need to manage. Interest in cryptocurrencies is rising again, particularly now that the US has approved the spot Bitcoin ETFs. From last January was the approval of the ETFs in the United States by the US SEC. So the EU's increased regulation and supervising of this market, of the crypto markets, through the new MiCA, the Markets in Crypto Assets Regulation, has added more legitimacy to an industry that outside of the European Union remains volatile and largely unregulated. Now, innovation and regulation, whether that's a good marriage. So what we are doing as regulators to ensure that companies we supervise carefully understand and manage these risks, and how do we encourage also innovation? It's no surprise that the fast pace of technology has meant that as a regulator, we have had to look at things differently and improve our organization. And this has required us to shift our strategic outlook, bringing in new tools to enhance our supervision and learn new skills. So I believe our approach to technology and innovation falls into 5 main areas. First area, we need to ensure we thoroughly understand innovation in the financial sector. And we need to be watchful of the new and emerging risks, as well as understand the opportunities for the consumers. CySEC, we have always played a significant role in supporting innovation and growth. Since 2018, our innovation hub has assisted innovative businesses and market participants to build their understanding of regulatory and compliance requirements. And we continue to innovate through our new regulatory sandbox, which I will come back to it in a moment. And as you probably are aware, the regulatory sandbox was launched by us last week. Now, CySEC has also engaged with providers of emerging financial technologies to determine and accelerate their business models in line with our commitment to ensuring investor protection. As AI-based tools become more integrated into financial markets, understanding and closely monitoring the risks will be crucial to ensure that productivity gains and other benefits of these technologies are passed on to investors within a safe and trustworthy financial ecosystem. Secondly, we need to ensure that our laws and regulations are relevant and robust. Although innovation in our sector is nothing new, the ecosystem is developing rapidly, and we need to maintain control over the firm's activities. In this regard, MiCA, Markets in Crypto Assets Regulation, the framework which covers the issuance of crypto assets and stable coins and the provision of related services, represents a major step forward for the protection of the investors in financial markets. More so now because trading in crypto assets is also drawing many new and increasingly often young and sometimes financially illiterate investors to these newly emerging markets where significant risks remain. As I see, technology is the bedrock for growth of the financial services industry, and MiCA is an important and timely and reflective suite of legislation that reflects the new and emerging challenges. I should point out here that, as you probably all know, that MiCA was passed through the European Parliament in June of 2022, and now we're in the process of getting prepared for the introduction of MiCA. The first stage of the introduction is by the end of this month, and the full implementation of MiCA will be done by the beginning of 2025. I should emphasize here, though, that MiCA should be considered as a starting point. MiCA will not cover the full spectrum of crypto assets, for example, the NFTs, non-fungible tokens, or DeFi, decentralized finance. This is not covered by MiCA. These will remain outside of the scope of MiCA. Investors should also be worried that outside of the European Union, approaches to cryptocurrencies, speed of action, services and products, and even terminology differ significantly, creating a heavily fragmented system that poses additional challenges to the investors. We're also preparing for the newly adopted Digital Operations Resilience Act, or DORA, for financial services entities. And actually, DORA, it's not only for our market, it's for the banking industry, it's for the insurance industry, it's for the pension industry, it's for all the industries related to the financial system. So DORA places additional reporting requirements on financial institutions and their third-party providers, especially those who provide ICT-related services such as cloud platforms, professional services, or data analytics. A deadline of 17th of January of 2025 has been set for those affected to ensure they are compliant. Third, we need to ensure that the firms we regulate embed a strong regulatory culture and that they are set up for growth and innovation. The reach of new regulation is far broader than before, and it will continue to evolve to keep up with the rapid advancement of technology. For regulators, the imperative is to ensure firms keep up with this constantly evolving regulatory landscape. They will need to implement the necessary compliance measures and manage the complex reporting requirements, whilst ensuring they continue to build more efficient risks management systems and improve resilience. Protecting customer information and preventing data breaches are critical challenges for regulated firms. In March of this year, CySEC outlined our supervisory priorities for 2024, making investor protection a focal point for our activities. Increasing cyber risks and the introduction of MiCA and DORA means that regulated entities that do not have adequate governance structures and effective control functions around compliance, internal audit, and risk management will not survive in the current environment. and have been clear that DORA compliance is essential and that firms should invest in technology solutions that complement their efforts to ensure business resilience and regulatory compliance. And lastly, fourth, we also need to support innovative firms to better understand the regulations. Innovation and regulation, as they say, it's a two-way street. If fintech cannot be executed in a safe and sound way, it is not compliant with the law, then it's of little use. So this commitment to continuous improvement remains paramount for us, for CySEC, and the goal is to create an environment where CySEC stands as a secure and trustworthy arena for the financial sector, and this revolves around upholding the high standards, as I said earlier, of investor protection and confidence, while simultaneously fostering the healthy growth of the market with the introduction of new products and services. Specifically, we are addressing the need to manage big data with the introduction of advanced RegTech systems which use artificial intelligence and cloud computing. And to deliver on this task, I had the great pleasure of officially launching our new regulatory sandbox last week. This is a continuation and transformation of the Innovation Hub I mentioned earlier. The Innovation Hub, as I said earlier, started in 2018, and the idea of that Innovation Hub was to have a dialogue with the regulator in order for the regulator to guide innovative technologies, new entrants to the market, of how they fit within the regulatory landscape. We have transformed that into a regulatory sandbox where the idea is basically to test in a controlled environment any new of these technologies before they can enter the market. Our ambition is to provide this controlled environment for the fintech startups and other entities to test their products or services in real conditions under the regulator's supervision. We're excited about this work because, as well as introducing us to new players in the market, we can underpin the sustainable growth of the market and increase the country's competitiveness. And this is the first sandbox in Cyprus, so we are very proud of the introduction of this sandbox. And finally, lastly, regulators themselves, they need to invest in innovation that supports their own supervision and increases their efficiency. And on the part of the regulators, I also believe this can be helped by better cooperation and coordination arrangements between financial supervisors and other authorities. We need to develop better frameworks, not just to ensure we follow the same rules under MiCA, but also on matters of consumer protection, anti-money laundering, cybersecurity, and our engagement with digital platforms. And as you know, for example, for MiCA, there is a lot of preparation at the moment across the European Union to have a unified approach, a coordinated approach in order of how to regulate this new industry, of how to authorize the firms that they want to get a license under MiCA, but also how to supervise them afterwards. So there's a lot of preparation at the ESMA level and across all the NCA's levels for that. For AML, as you know, there's a new authority, the AMLA authority, which has been announced, which it's a newly established authority, and the idea of the AMLA, which will be located in Frankfurt, is to have a framework across Europe for AML purposes that is along the same lines across all the jurisdictions. So a lot of things are happening at the European level. Sorry, I forgot to go to the next slide. And let me close here. In closing, financial technology is creating, as I said at the beginning, is created certainly new risks while creating new opportunities for businesses. We're fully committed to support these exciting developments and to ensure that these applications are delivered in a way which investors are protected. And I would like to leave you with one final thought. Through another area of work at CySEC to drive financial literacy and education, I'm struck by the gap between people, communities, organizations, and consumers who make good use of technology and those who cannot. So there is a lot of separation between the ones actually who understand the technology and they can use it, and those that they do not understand the technology and that technology is of little use to them. So that's why, we need to educate investors and consumers more. Digitalization has made a deep impact on the financial sector, but for some people, it can feel confusing, it can feel dangerous or out of control. So that's why it's crucial for conferences like this to bring together like-minded people who have the knowledge, the research and power to advance a better understanding of technology to make it accessible, more effective and safer for all, so that we can move forward and make progress together. So on this point, I wish you a very productive conference with discussions and exchanges, of exchanges of information that can address these challenges and other challenges, as well as continue to build on a long tradition of innovation and positive change within the financial sector. So thank you again for your attention.